Good evening, guys. I hope you're all well, and welcome back to the Amateur Footballer channel, and welcome back to the starting 11. Now, today it's just me and Tabrice. Christmas is right around the corner, and we've had a couple drop out, but that's fine. We're still here to produce the goods. Now, Tabrice, first of all, welcome. How are you
Thank you very
feeling
much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, no, I feel good. I love Mondays. Surprisingly, I really love Mondays. It's a time to like reset and to kind of really hit the week. Exactly how you mean to go on. So all is well.
Now, first off, I want to get your opinions on the topic that I'm going to start with now. Argentina. being
Argentina.
Argentina being champions. First of all, what was your thoughts on the final?
Oh, amazing final. Amazing final. I know it's the best World Cup final I've ever watched. Possibly even the best final in respective in terms of what tournament I've actually watched. For the first half, again, Argentina just looked in control, and it could have been 3 or 4. France didn't really look up to par, of course, with the changes that happened before halftime, and even in the second half, and in the first 10 minutes, I was kind of doing other stuff. I was literally just waiting for Argentina, touch the score like the third. But of course, something really, really special happened, and let you, and yeah, I will literally let you finish off the story. But yeah, an amazing end to like what I deem a really, really good World Cup.
And I think that's the thing. I think this World Cup has been filled with highs and lows and so many different aspects that could be so exciting if people stopped focusing on the politics side of Qatar. If they just went there and enjoyed the football, you have the likes of Morocco getting to the semi-finals of a World Cup. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure. I'm not too clued up on the African countries, but is that the furthest they've gotten?
Yeah, that's the furthest an African team have been in the World Cup. Yeah.
So that's already a historic thing. You have Ronaldo and Messi, the greatest players of all time, amongst some of the others as well. Their last World Cups. You have some highs and lows. You got Spain being knocked out early on when they were one of the leading to win it. You've got the likes of Germany still going out early on as well. There's so many different aspects of this World Cup that if we just focused on the football and less on the politics, then this would probably go down as one of the best World Cups of all time. I think. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of totally agree. I'm not saying that we shouldn't talk about certain things, but now the World Cup is finished, I want people to have the same energy now. And that is going to be the key thing in the next couple of weeks. Christmas, New Year. Let's see if all of these things that everyone, rightly so, have been talking about. Let's see if they want to continue that conversation. That's what I'm really kind of looking for now.
Yeah. Now, I want to get on quickly because we have got quite a few points to get through. But the first point I want to get to you, Tabrice, is what is your team of the tournament? Guys, for the people watching, me and Tabrice have been behind the scenes. We've done a few topics that we're going to discuss. Goal of the tournament, basically just a roundup of the World Cup in a whole. And first off, we are hitting it with the team of the tournament. Tabrice, let's see yours and your explanation.
All right. So my team of the tournament, and literally I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. So Martinez in goal. I mean, again, amazing shot stopper. We could probably talk about the save that he made in extra time, and I can talk at length about that. But hey, you know what? Rightly so. For me, the best goalkeeper in the World Cup. Right back, Hakimi from Morocco, PSG legend, and again, Morocco really surprised a lot of teams, and Hakimi was actually part of that. Apologies about my pronunciation of the Croatian centre back. Is it Granafol?
Vardio, yeah, Gvardio
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Vardio.
Again, quality. I mean, how was he? 21. Again, he is one for the future. I can just see him going, to one of like the big clubs in like Europe. And again, I'm really looking to actually see how he kicks on from like this World Cup. Next to him is Albacani. Sorry, again.
Yes. I'll tell you what, let's make it simple. Super Ooper.
Super Ooper. I mean, again, I thought he was immense for like France. I missed some, again, last ditch interceptions, blocking, tackles, really, really good on the ball as well, and good in the air. Luke Shaw, left back, steady Eddie for me. Didn't really put a foot wrong. So of course he's got to be in there. My trio in the middle, acrobats for Morocco, absolute rock there again, covering so much ground. Bellingham beside him. I think he can do a bit of everything, and I can't wait to see him in the Euros and again in the kind of World Cup in 4 years' time. Messi as captain, well, we can't really say too much there. Again, it was just written in the stars, and well deserved as well. I'm actually glad that he's kind of got the World Cup now to literally complete his football trophy cabinet. Yeah. Saka on one wing, Mbappe on another. Again, electric pace. From again, Mbappe scoring a hat trick in the final and still not winning the World Cup. That's crazy. But again, he's 23, 24, and he really has the potential. If he's kind of if he's got his feet firmly on the ground to really compete with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo in terms of breaking records. Saka on the other wing, I thought he had a really good World Cup for like England. I'm really looking forward to seeing him now in the Premiership. And up top, Alvarez, non-stop runner. I think he got 4 goals in the World Cup, which is pretty good. And again, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he now kicks on for Manchester City.
And that is your team of the tournament.
Yep.
Now getting on to mine. Mine's slightly different. There's a few changes in mine compared to yours. Bear me 1 second. So, as you can see, we've got some similar players in there. We've got Martinez in net, Hakimi, Vardio. Instead of Upamecano, I've gone with Thiago Silva.
Oh, well, I mean, Thiago Silva's your guy, though, isn't he? So
he is my guy. But the thing is, as well with him, you have to remember, he's 38, and yet he's still outshining in a Brazil team with the names of Casemiro, Vinicius Junior, Neymar, Richarlison. You've got all these superstars, and yet Thiago Silva, at the age of 38, is still amongst the top of them. I think he's done very well for Brazil. Obviously, they haven't gone as far as what everyone predicted, but ultimately, I don't think that's down to Thiago Silva alone or maybe his mistakes. But I think overall, I think Thiago Silva has been one of the key performers in that Brazil side that has showed that defensive solidness that we know from that Brazil has the potential to have. Gvardiol, you've already spoke about. Hakimi. I've gone with Theo Hernandez, left back instead of Luke Shaw. I think he's a French Kyle Walker, right? And what I mean by that is that the pace Hernandez has and recovering the ball, he's not only is he defensively solid in so many ways, he's also got that speed that helps benefit. Like when we speak about Kyle Walker, we discuss how defensively he's not maybe the best, but his pace recovers for that. Whereas with Hernandez, he's got the pace and the defensive ability to be able to just be an all-round solid performer and to get to a World Cup final. I think he's pulled out. I think left back has been, I think you can agree on this, left back's definitely not been the best position in the World Cup. there's not been that many names, but yeah, for me, it's gone Theo Hernandez. We've agreed with Bellingham and Amrabat in the midfield too, and instead I've gone with Griezmann at cam. Griezmann is one of, if not the player of the tournament. The fact that this man has scored, I think he got top goal scorer last World Cup, and yet they have dropped him into a number 8 box-to-box sort of role, is a completely different aspect to his game. And fair play to the France manager, I can't remember his name.
Didier Deschamps.
Deschamps, there we go. The fact that they've seen Griezmann, put him in a number 8, and he has done fantastic for them. The amount of support that he's offering going forwards, even defensive, for a maybe winger/striker for Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, Griezmann is coming in and playing a number 8 role fantastically well. And we have also discussed Saka, Mbappe, and Messi. I haven't got Alvarez in. Instead, I've put Messi, Saka, and Messi, Messi, Mbappe, and Saka as my front three, and I've dropped Griezmann into that cam position. Now, it's fair to say that Martinez has been goalkeeper of the tournament, hasn't he? I mean, absolutely unbelievable. The fact he is the guy for penalties. If you ever wanted a keeper to help, or if you ever wanted a keeper to step up for a penalty, it is Emi Martinez. My real question is, where did Arsenal go wrong to let this guy go?
Well, you know, at the time they had Bert Leno, and he was performing well. Martinez, I think he had his opportunity, I believe, at Arsenal. But again, everyone kind of knows what went wrong at Arsenal. There was like a lot of mismanagement, players leaving on freeze, and you know, there was just madness. But I can guarantee, what's his name? Arteta. If Martinez was at Arsenal when Arteta was there, Martinez won't be going.
I don't think Ramsdale would have come in either.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, but again, I think Martinez as a goalkeeper, it's a very selfless position. You know, you are trying to cover your whole body with a goal that's over 8 foot wide, 10 foot pot, you know, possibly. And in, you know, those clutch moments in games, you are asking for your goalkeeper to literally save your bacon. And he's done that for Argentina in this World Cup. I don't want to keep talking about the save because, you know, again, listen, that save, as a purist, as a football purist, yeah, I think that's, and again, you know, I'm not that old, but I really believe that save is better than Gordon Banks' save against Pele. And I kind of, and yeah, I'm going to literally say that's the biggest save in World Cup history.
I think that's a fair statement, especially given the fact that it was in the dying minutes of the extra time going on to penalties, and he has pulled out a blinder of a save. It was so close and hit so well that I think that's a fair statement to give, that that's probably one of the biggest saves we've ever seen in the World Cup.
Yeah, I again, like you can imagine now, and you know, if you kind of look at not only the Argentinian squad, because again, I don't want to deviate away from Martinez, but he's playing for a mid-table team, Aston Villa, that are not really vying for the Premiership. They're not in Europe, so his stock will now go up immensely. So it's going to be very interesting, you know, how he's now perceived in world football, because people are now going to take notice. So it's going to be very, very interesting in the next, you know, season or so, in terms of where his head's at, and also how Aston Villa can not hopefully, but can tie him down to a possible longer contract. But again, now the world is his oyster now. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Now, a couple points that I want to get onto with the team of the tournament. A couple players who I feel that deserve a mention. A player that, well, I'll say his name, Olivier Giroud. I think there was a lot of questions going into that France squad. They're missing the likes of Kante and Pogba, that absolute engine that won them the World Cup last 4 years ago, and overall, with Benzema being injured that close, Giroud stepped up to the plate massively, I think, and it proves that Giroud is so slept on as a footballer. It is unbelievable. He is a pure goal poacher. He is what I like in a striker, compared to Harry Kane, who I can't stand. I think that he is. I want a striker who's able to play up front, and that is what I want to see from a striker. Whereas Harry Kane, everyone knows my thoughts on it. If you don't know my thoughts on it, that means you're not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, then I recommend you do, because this is the channel you want to be at when you want to know the latest football news. You feel Alvarez goes in over Griezmann?
I mean, Griezmann is a good shout, and literally, I like how you broke that down. I think Griezmann, and yeah, he's a very underrated, I believe. And in this World Cup, he's just proven to everyone that he's a complete football player. You know, in his kind of early years, he, like he was that number 9. He could come off the left and right. And now you're seeing him defending, on the edge of his box, tackling, intercepting, literally starting off play. In this World Cup, you've like seen the evolution of Griezmann, and for whatever reason, is not spoken about like Ronaldo's and the Messi's and the Mbappe's, because like his numbers are not great, but again, what he brings to a team, he's a kind of player that I'd love to see playing for Liverpool. Very unselfish, and like even when he got taken off in the final, it was a fact that he was absolutely knackered. He just ran himself into the ground. But yeah, you know what? That's a fair shout. But yeah, for me, Alvarez came like into this tournament as the understudy to, I think it was Martinez, who was playing up front.
Yeah.
So no one was really talking about him too much. And like for him to grab four goals and to kind of almost be in the same level or par as Messi, as a 19-year-old, I think he's 19 or 20.
I think he's not old at all.
Yeah. You can't really miss him out. And again, like he scored all types of goals. And again, it's going to be very interesting to see how Manchester City now play him now, because he's a World Cup winner. So now his stock has gone up. His own mentality now would be saying, hey, if I'm starting for Argentina, the World Cup champions, then I also have the right, well, not the right, but if I'm training well, then it's not Haaland all day, every day. You now have to look at me as a kind of viable first choice striker. So see, that dynamic is going to be very interesting.
Could you see Pep potentially try and turn it to a 2-striker formation at all? Seeing Haaland, if I'm Guardiola and I'm looking at how Alvarez is performing, that young, hungry player, I would want him to play next to Haaland. I'd want Alvarez to look at Haaland and almost look up to him, follow what he's achieving. And the thing is, they're not exactly one's old and one's young. Do you know what I mean? They're both similar ages, so I feel they both could help each other in certain ways.
I mean, how I see it is, I think if anyone has to look up to any player, I think everyone has got to look up to Alvarez, because I think he's the only player in the Man City team that's got a World Cup now. So he kind of comes now from Qatar as a World Cup winner. Like Haaland's got to look at him and think, and literally speak to him. Oh, Alvarez, how was it playing against Mbappe? How was it playing?
Yeah, but in fairness, Haaland's playing for Norway.
Okay, but if we're kind of looking at in the next 4 years, there's going to be a lot more teams now in the World Cup. So I expect Norway to really kick on again. And also as well, again, Alvarez was not first choice for Argentina. So it's going to be one of these very interesting dynamics now. And going like back to your first point, yes, I can see Pep trying to play both of them, because in the final against Chelsea in the European Cup final, he changed the whole system. I think they were playing, I don't know what formation that they were trying to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like do believe Pep will realize that he can't keep this young pit bull on the bench for too long, because hey, now like he is going to be demanding a lot now. So it's not going to be all Haaland this and Haaland that. It's going to be like a dynamic duo, or possibly Alvarez to actually start in some games.
Do you know what's crazy, right? A couple of seasons ago, we were questioning Pep, going, he hasn't got a striker. There's no one up front. Now he's got two strikers. Haaland, who is on par as one of the best youngsters in the world, if not the best, amongst with Mbappe. And he's got a World Cup winner. He's got a World Cup winner and Haaland as his two striker options. Now, a season or two ago, he weren't even playing with a striker.
Again, it's going to be very interesting now. Haaland's had a lot of time to think and to get himself rested, and any like niggling injuries. So he is raring to go. Any back four or back five, including the goalkeeper or the defensive midfielder, are going to have problems against Haaland, because he's going to be out to prove himself. He has now seen Mbappe's stock rise. People were trying to compare him and Mbappe, and for now, Haaland can't even tie Mbappe's shoes right now. Absolutely, I'm taking Mbappe all day, every day. So Haaland's got a lot to prove, and the only stage that he's got right now is the Premiership and, of course, the Champions League. But again, it just makes it really, really interesting, because this is what we like. We like a competitive league. We like players who are going to push other players further, and that's what Alvarez has now done. And again, it's a fairy tale for Alvarez as well. Again, 19, winning his first World Cup. Imagine if he wins it in the next 4 years. That's he's gonna be 22, 23. And again, like let's not discard him just yet. Like, he could be one of the greats.
I think this may be a crazy statement, but Mbappe could be the greatest player of all time if he carries up this sort of player. I think it's better he didn't win the World Cup, because, in my opinion, bagging that hat trick, I'd much rather him bag a hat trick and lose than potentially win and not perform up to the standards of what some people may want. And already comparing Messi and Mbappe now, so Mbappe at 23 years of age, Messi when he was 23, Mbappe's got more goals, more trophies, and I believe more assists. And the way he's going, he could go down as the greatest player of all time if he carries on and stays consistent. It is a big call, but
and literally that's what you just said. If he's consistent, Mbappe's biggest asset is his pace. Yeah. After the age of 29, 30, you lose that considerably. And we've seen that with Ronaldo, and we've seen that with Messi. But again, what Messi has that Ronaldo doesn't is the dribbling ability, and literally the awareness of literally playing, his teammates in. And again, that's the reason why Messi has literally, I think it's got better with age, because like now you actually see exactly what he does on the pitch. It's not all about like running and literally trying to beat a player with pace. So that's the only thing Mbappe has to be very careful of, because again, yes, he's young, and like he like runs. He sprints. So hopefully he doesn't. But hamstring injuries, lower back injuries, ankle injuries can slow you down considerably, especially in your mid to late 20s. So when
Yeah.
he does lose his pace, let's see exactly how he adapts his playing style, because everyone can now see why Messi is, like one of the modern greats, because just how he performs at the age of 35,
Mm.
36. Or so.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with it, especially with injuries we've seen with so many players like Rooney being overused very early on in his career. To
Michael Owen as well.
Michael Owen. Well, Michael Owen's a prime example, really. I mean, he could have potentially gone on to do unbelievable things, that he could have potentially gone down with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo if he carried on the way he was. But like you said, with injuries. I want to move on now to Brees.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on the goal of the tournament? Now, there's a couple contenders that I've thought of. If you can think of any more, please let me know. But for me, you've got Rashford's free kick.
Against Wales.
Yeah. I think that
Against
was,
Wales.
yeah.
Oh, wowzers.
For me, that the fact that he's not done the typical free kick. He hasn't just tried bending it over the wall. He's hit it with power and precision to go directly into that top right corner. And I think the level of skill on that free kick to make that go in and catch the keeper out of position. Yeah.
Okay, and that's a fair shout, but I think if it was a proper keeper, it would have been saved.
Don't say
And
proper keeper.
no, okay. You know what? Let me not disrespect any kind of elite keeper, because if you're kind of playing for your country, then you're a pro. But there's levels. I think Martinez wouldn't have let that goal in. I'm sorry, Pickford would not have let that goal in. I mean, if you kind of look at the kind of direction and literally how and well the ball hit the net, you would have to look at the keeper and think, were you? I don't know what you're doing. Like, were you like watching yourself on the big screen, because like that was really bad. But he hit it well.
The thing is, we've seen it against. I remember Rashford hitting a free kick similar against Chelsea, and I can't remember who was in goal. I think it was either Kepa or someone, but they couldn't get a hand to it. Anyway, I've got another goal, the Richarlison bicycle kick.
Okay.
I think that could be up there with contenders. I think the level he's able to just flip the ball up and then bicycle kick it into the bottom corner, I think was quite well. And also my vote and my nomination for the goal of the tournament is Chavez free kick.
Chavez's free kick. Against who?
I can't even remember the name of it now. I will try and find it now. Bear with me. Have you got any goals that you?
For me, the goal of the tournament is the Saudi Arabia Argentina first game. Top bins. Again, I'm kind of looking on how Argentina will control the first half. Could have been out of sight, and Saudi Arabia woke up and literally shocked the world. And the second goal, a goal like that for me deserves to win a game. That's the goal for me. If you're kind of looking at a team goal, I do like Argentina's
second goal against
France.
That was a great goal.
I thought literally that was a great team goal. Literally cut open France. I mean, you know what? I'm kind of thinking of more moments that kind of created the goals rather than 35 yarders. Again, I do like the Japanese goal against Germany. Again, how the Japanese player controlled it, literally sucked in the defender, and then went and then literally took that early shot. Wasn't nothing amazing, but again, like the technique and the discipline to actually do that. We've actually seen some really good, well executed goals.
Yeah, I think I keep going back to the point, but if you take the politics out of it, this is one of the best World Cups we've seen, especially with the different competitions. You've got Morocco coming through and stuff like that. So, yeah, overall, it's been a great World Cup. But my nomination of the goal of the tournament goes to Chavez for the free kick he scored. I can't remember the team it was against.
Chavez.
But
Chavez. Who does he play for? Chavez. Mexico. Who did Mexico play? I can't even remember. I can't even remember.
To be fair, I'm struggling to find the clip.
Chavez must have been in the quality.
Against Saudi Arabia.
I don't think I saw that goal.
It was an unbelievable strike.
Okay, free kick.
Free kick. So for me, Chavez free kick is my goal. What's your goal of the tournament overall then, Tabriz?
I've got to go with the Saudi Arabia versus Argentina goal, second goal. That's one for me.
Now, moving on, I think this is plain and simple, but Tabriz may have other opinions. Player of the tournament, the nominations are Mbappe, Messi. I think that's about it overall. I think those two have, I wouldn't want to say carried because, like we've discussed, Griezmann has been phenomenal for France. You've had Emi Martinez being phenomenal for Argentina. So I don't think they've carried their sides. But what they've offered and what they've brung to the sides that have helped them progress through to the finals, I'm going to have to go with Messi overall. I think Messi's my player of the tournament. Tabriz, who's yours?
Again, can't really look past Messi and Mbappe, but I'm going to go with possibly even Acrobat for Morocco, and also his midfield partner, is it Numdi? Again, my pronunciations are shocking. I thought he was immense. And also as well, Martinez, I think it's Luisa Martinez that plays in the center of the park, and also a big mention.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
And also a big mention to Alex McAllister.
That was one player I was going to get onto. Literally, in a minute. We will discuss Alistair in a second, but we agree that it's Messi or Mbappe. For me, it's Messi. Tabriz, you agreeing?
Can't really disagree with that. Messi. Okay, Messi.
Moving on to our next point is a team that underachieved. The team that most underachieved the most. Sorry. So you're looking at Spain, Germany, Belgium. For me, it's got to be Germany. I think I understand Belgium because obviously Belgium. What do you call it? Belgium obviously they didn't even make it out of the group, did they?
No.
And obviously being ranked second in the world or the World Cup rankings, I understand that. But overall, Germany had something to prove this World Cup. Got a bunch of youngsters: Musiala, Adeyemi, a couple others that I can't even remember, to be honest. But they've got some good youngsters coming through. And if I was Germany's manager, I would want to win this, and even not win, but at least show some fight and grit to get through to the latter stages of the competition. I just felt that Germany, especially going out in the group stages in the last World Cup, I feel like they had something to prove this World Cup, and I think they let everybody down. So for me, it's Germany for the most underachieved team.
Again, you got to put Germany in there. Belgium, I mean, I knew that they weren't going to do well. They've not really changed their squad in the last 10 years. The Germans are in a bit of a transitional period. But for me, there's two teams. There's Brazil, because everyone was hyping Brazil up. Again, with the technical players, with the flair players, with how they demolished. Was it Switzerland? Was it Switzerland with the overhead kick and whatnot? Everything just looked hunky dory, and then just got unstuck against a Croatian. Croatia are a good team, but they're an Asian team, and if you can't beat Croatia in over 120 minutes, then then you kind of really have to go back to the drawing board. And also, I'm gonna say England. England with the talent that's what the squad possesses, and again, like the fearless nature. Semi-finals in the World Cup before, finalists in the Euros, against a French team that didn't have a lot of their superstars. Yes, they had Mbappe, and Griezmann and Giroud, but you're talking about 3 players. And literally how that squad was used was ridiculous. Again, I keep going back to how Southgate brought on Grealish with 2 minutes to go. And again, it wasn't even a change, just, that was a panic change because Stones had to come off. So, again, England underachieved 100%.
I read this statistic the other day, Tabrice. Now, I have my hatred for Southgate. I think I honestly, I don't think he has a clue what he's doing, right? The FIFA World Cup rankings, right?
Okay.
We have faced a top 10 side, whether it be multiple times or different teams. We have faced one or all of the top 10 sides 24 times, right? So any team that is in the top 10 World Cup rankings, England have faced them 24 times. Do you know how many times we've won under Southgate?
3 times.
4. 4 times in 24 games. Now, you're telling me that he's good enough to go and take us to a Euros again? He's a clown. Well done, we beat Iran. Well done, we struggled against USA. Well done, we beat Wales. Well done, we beat Senegal. Senegal were a much more challenging than what I first... Well, actually, I called it as it was because I'm just good at football like that. But overall, I made the call with Senegal coming fresh out of the gate and that. But Southgate is just a clown. I think a lot of people are blinded by... Oh, well, we almost got to the semi. We almost won the trophy. We got to a semi-final. We got to a final. That's still not good enough in my books. With the team we have, we should be winning it. And it's not. I've heard a lot of people coming out and say that they hate England fans saying that or feeling entitled to go and win something. I'm not entitled to anything. But the squad we have, like you said, we've underachieved by getting to a quarter-final. Right? We underachieved getting to a quarter-final. We're not entitled to win it. But with the players we've got, we should not be going out any less than semi-final. And we should be pushing the cup. And that's what I've not seen us do for many years now under Southgate.
If Southgate was, not if, he was watching the final and he saw how Deschamps made those bold changes. Yes, Giroud was injured and it was a bit of a gamble. But Dembele was having a stinker of a game. Absolute stinker. He wasn't waiting until halftime. He literally made that change at 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And those subs came on and almost won the World Cup for like France. Do I think the French squad is better than the England squad? No. Honestly, I think there's like more talented players on the England squad. But again, it's really down to the manager and the kind of management team to literally gel everyone together. And again, okay. So with the play of the tournament, and like you said something which I firmly agree with, when like you said, there wasn't really any outstanding left backs. When Walker was fit, which is fair enough, take out Luke Shaw and put Trippier there. Trippier can play left back, and he's been probably one of the most informed fullbacks in Europe. And he's just sitting on the bench. Honestly, it just didn't make sense to me. But I mean, again, we've like now got Southgate until the Euros. I can imagine like a few players, i.e. Trent, is thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's thinking, I don't really want to go to the Euros because I'm not going to start. There's how many players are now going to retire from international football? Is Harry Kane going to be good enough to actually still lead England? Who else is, because
he's not. I'm sorry, he has never led England. I don't think he's led England.
Okay, well, in terms of his goals, like, stats don't lie. He's got a bag full of goals. So, and let's see, he's gonna break Rooney's record. So cool. But he's now getting on now. So who else is in the pipeline to actually tie that number 9 shirt? Because everyone was saying Callum Wilson this, Tony this. I think Tony's probably happy that he didn't even go because
he wouldn't have been played.
Because like Wilson had less than half an hour, if that.
It's ridiculous. Southgate is a clown. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So Southgate might as well just pick his like starting 11 plus maybe a couple of subs and just take them to the Euros because everyone knows exactly what the team is going to be.
The thing is, Southgate doesn't use his subs to the 95th minute. So there's no point in even taking subs. I think honestly Southgate hasn't got a clue, and the fact we've kept him in a job for so long, he should be counting his blessings, because I feel that the teams we've come up against, the runs that we've had against teams coming up to the World Cups or the Euros, we haven't had much challenges. The last challenge I can remember prior to the France, probably our biggest challenge was probably, I'd say, the Euros against Germany. That was a big game and a big statement from both teams that wanted to go out and win it. And I respected Southgate for that. I backed Southgate for the first World Cup. I backed him for the Euros. And it got to a point in the Euros final when he made the subs in the 90-plus minute that he's just not good enough to get us over the line. And overall, yeah, I think, to be fair, England is a shout for underachieved. A lot of people believe that we could go and win it. And I think that we had the ability to. But again, like you said to Brees, it's down to the management. For me, it was down to the management that couldn't get us over that line overall. Now, moving from underachieved to overachieved, what's your most overachieved team in the tournament? I think it's a clear-cut one, Morocco.
It's clear one. Yeah, Morocco. No one really saw Morocco as semi-finalists. I think people didn't really look at Morocco as a team to even get out of their group. And again, when you kind of read a little bit about their kind of history coming into this competition, the manager literally came in 2 games before the World Cup. So there was like a lot of issues with the previous regime, but again, no one like saw Morocco getting to the semi-final. They really defended well, and they really played as a unit. They kind of played played as a team, and also as well, if you're kind of looking at the support, probably bar Argentina and Mexico, Morocco were up there. So it felt like it was like a home game every time Morocco were playing.
Yeah.
And again, finishing in 4th place, that's an amazing achievement. And I'm really excited to see exactly how they now fare in the AFCON in the next year or 2, and of course in the World Cup.
I think one thing with Morocco, I'm going to say this as a Chelsea fan, I wanted Ziyech gone. I still want him gone for Chelsea. He's not good enough for, don't get me wrong, he has played phenomenal for Morocco, but overall for Chelsea, he's just not been the Ajax player that we bought. He has not been that player who cut in on his left foot, the skillful, the one who could whip it, and he just hasn't been that. And overall, I think Ziyech is probably up there with underrated players currently in this World Cup tournament. You hear about Bunu, the Moroccan goalkeeper. You hear about Hakimi, but Ziyech's name isn't really in that. You hear about Amrabat's name as well, but Ziyech ain't really in that. But I feel that Ziyech is, especially against France, he had a lot of joy down that right side against Theo Hernandez. He had a lot of space because Mbappe couldn't be bothered to get back and defend. So it was Theo Hernandez against Hakimi and Ziyech. So Ziyech had a lot of joy down there. And overall, yeah, I think Ziyech has been one of the players. But yeah, anyway, sorry with my rant. Morocco, definitely.
Well, literally any player that's either played for Chelsea, who's actually part of Chelsea, or literally are rumored to like be with Chelsea, I can rely on you to give me the lowdown.
Well, I mean, look how many phenomenal players there has been in this tournament. Thiago Silva, Chelsea. Ziyech.
Oh,
Chelsea.
come on. You say Thiago Silva. Oh,
Thiago Silva is one of the best centre-backs of all time. Laugh at me. You have the likes of Giroud, ex-Chelsea. You have...
I see, you say Giroud, ex-Chelsea.
Hold on.
I love how you claim Giroud, you know. I love how you guys are claiming Giroud.
If he would still be... He'd still be kissing FA Cups if it weren't for Chelsea bringing into European glory. Giroud beat Arsenal in Baku in the Europa League. He goes and wins the Champions League. If we can see it, Chelsea just offload their old players to Arsenal. They sign the likes of Willian and David Luiz from us. Guess who we sign? Superstars. Giroud comes in. Ashley Cole comes in. Anyway, back to the point. But Kovacic as well for Croatia. Third place, Chelsea player. There's a theme going on here.
Okay.
What Liverpool players have done well to breathe?
Oh no! Listen. I am not getting into this conversation. We will have this conversation when the Premier League starts.
Okay. A fair point. Now, we spoke about this already. You lightly touched upon this man who plays for Brighton and Hove Albion. His name's just completely gone off my mind.
Alex McAllister.
That's the man. I think he's the most underrated player in this tournament. The usage that the Argentinian manager managed to get out of him. Bearing in mind he's a Brighton player, and I'm not hating Brighton, but he's not the best. Do you know what I mean? They're not that level above Brighton. But he just showed something. It's just a different class on the pitch.
I think what you see as a football purist, and I'm taking my kind of club biased out of it. Again, even with Martinez playing for Aston Villa, McAllister playing for Brighton, it's not a fashionable team. And again, let's not forget, McAllister scored about 4 or 5 goals in about 7 games for like Brighton. So like, you know, he's been doing bits.
Yeah.
But literally what you've seen, especially now in this current crop of like players in this generation, it's all about a system. If you can put the right player in the right system with the right players around them, they will look fantastic. And McAllister in the Argentinian midfield with Messi, he did not look out of place. And I put out a tweet yesterday saying, I hope Brighton have got a long-term contract with this McAllister dude, because again, teams are going to be sniffing around thinking, if you're mixing it in the World Cup final with Messi, Mbappe, Martinez, and you don't look a drop out of place. And we are Googling where you're playing now, and you're playing for Brighton. No disrespect, boy. There's some like Bayern Munich, even Real Madrid. Again, like, he's not a flash in the pan, but what he does, he keeps the ball ticking. And those type of players allow the likes of the Messis and even the Mbappes and even like the Haalands, like, you know, the players who are going to get like the kind of headlines to actually go and do their job. But it's these players behind them just keep things ticking. And his stock has gone up now 20, 30, 40 million now, plus whatever he was worth before. So you're looking at 60, 70 million pound player. And before the World Cup, you like probably could have snapped him up for about 30 million. And then people would have said, why are you buying McAllister for 30 million? But now people are like, boy, you know what? It's better to get McAllister now at 60, 70 million because he's only going to get better. And again, it's going to be very interesting to see how contract negotiations now happen at Brighton, because now he is the star of Brighton now. He is going to be the poster boy at Brighton. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he now handles that type of limelight, and if that's going to affect his performance. Is he going to raise up his or literally bring up his like teammates to that World Cup type of level, or is he going to be daddy big bollocks and I deserve a different move? It's going to be a very, very, very interesting end of season now for like him.
So would you agree that McAllister is the underrated player of the tournament?
100%.
Yeah. Moving from underrated again to overrated, I'm going to kick off mine. Super simple. Actually, no, there's two.
I know. Well, I know one of them already.
All right, go on then.
You're going to say Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Kane. Useless. You cannot give this man a captain's armband, play him striker, and he ends up playing centre-back for half the game. He is a clown, and he should...
He's a clown.
Mate, the amount of goals he bags, and yet he still decides to play CDM as a box-to-box midfielder is a joke. Get him away. Get Ivan Toney in. I guarantee you Ivan Toney scores more goals than Harry Kane. And also, my other overrated player is Neymar. Neymar and Harry Kane, for me, are the overrated players of the tournament. I can't split them apart, to be honest. I can't.
Bro, listen, I'm not even going to argue because mine was Neymar. I mean, yes, he like had an injury, and he was probably playing on it against Croatia. But, you know, I'm still baffled how he is Brazilians like Brazil's all-time goal scoring player ahead of Pele and Ronaldo. Honestly, like my mind I can't fathom that stat. And again, when Brazil needed him, he didn't take a penalty. Or if he was going to take a penalty, he was going to be number 5. Get your best penalty takers out the way first.
Yeah.
We don't know who chose, but again, it was a decision that went against Brazil. I just don't understand Neymar. Honestly, I just don't.
I think the biggest thing with Neymar is that the reason he's overrated is because so many people are saying, oh, he's the best Brazilian player that there has been.
Nowhere near.
I think, honestly, Neymar, don't get me wrong, he's the 3rd best player in this generation.
The 3rd? Really? Yeah. I would
Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. You cannot tell me that Santos Neymar and Barcelona Neymar wasn't good.
I would put Lewandowski, and even though I hate to say his name, I would put Suarez ahead of him.
No.
I would. No, think about it. Suarez at Barcelona, of course, it was Suarez, Neymar, Messi. Amazing. Suarez moves to Atletico Madrid and dethrones Barcelona, while Suarez is literally getting to the end of his powers. Neymar moves to PSG in his prime. Again, it was an amazing move and an amazing contract for him. What has he won apart from the French division? What else has he won? He's not won anything.
I agree that Neymar moving to PSG, I think, I've always said this, is the wrong move. I don't see why Neymar decided to take that big money move. I understand Barcelona definitely. I don't think he foresaw what was coming with the debt and all the stuff that carried on with Barcelona, but I think Neymar could have potentially made a better move. PSG have never been about they've been about the glory, but it's always just waving the money in people's faces.
But see, there's a difference because Mbappe made the move from Monaco to PSG, and again he could have gone anywhere. But the fact is, Mbappe has almost again yesterday almost dragged France to win the World Cup, and he's already won it already at the age of 19. Single-handedly, Mbappe scores a hat trick in the final. So I'm not even bothered about the move to like PSG, because the only thing that's really missing from even Mbappe's record is the Champions League, which I believe he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win it with PSG, but he's definitely going to win it. Neymar is an enigma. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who this person is. I think it's a figure of my imagination. I just don't think this guy exists. I swear down to you. I just do not understand. Honestly, like, I don't understand why people put this guy as third. Again, I put Suarez, Lewandowski. I'd even put like Mane and Salah. Like,
no, I think you're forgetting. It's very easy to see the Neymar we have now, but the Neymar that was at Brazil and Santos, scary. The MSN, right? A lot of people are giving credit to Messi and Suarez, and not as much are giving to Neymar for how them three play together. The best trio in football ever.
What? Are you crazy?
Messi, Suarez, and Neymar is the best trio up front in football.
Mane, Bobby.
No way.
We won everything.
No way.
Bro, we won everything.
Nah, you cannot.
We won everything. Barcelona didn't win everything. We won everything. But again, let's not digress from the topic right now, because we can talk about this later. Because Billy, you and I are gonna fall out soon, brother.
No, you know what it is? I can't believe you've put Salah on the same as Messi. And
I mean, I've like put him like ahead of Neymar, 100%.
I can't. Anyway, I do agree that Neymar has been overrated massively in this tournament and in many. I don't think he's done what is expected of him in a Brazilian shirt. Overall, I don't think it's just this World Cup. I don't think he's ever been. I know he's obviously unfortunate with injuries, only in a Brazil shirt apparently, but overall, yeah, I do agree that in the World Cup and for Brazil, Neymar isn't exactly that Neymar that we once saw.
I mean, you could really take a pick from the Brazilian players, apart from, of course, your like fanboy Thiago Silva, but everyone else in the Brazilian team could have been classed as overrated as well. Anthony, Richarlison, Casemiro, a lot of them just didn't really perform. But it's the fact that Neymar, again, like he was again like the poster boy for like Brazil. It was supposed to be his World Cup as well, etc., etc., etc. It just, again, he just didn't perform.
Yeah. Moving on now to your young player of the tournament.
Okay, so what's the cutoff date? Because literally, this is literally where I always get confused. So
21 years of age. I think that's fair.
Okay. Jude Bellingham. For me, I think he's the only young player that I saw really have the cojones to not only stand up for England, but respectfully stood up to the referee when the referee was on his own island. Yeah. And it just proves why he's Borussia Dortmund's captain at such a young age.
We have seen him, though. We have seen him argue with refs. I remember when Bellingham got a fine because it was Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund, and he felt hard done by and said that basically the ref was match fixing. That ref has been caught match fixing previous to that game as well. But Bellingham does like a moan at the ref.
But yeah, I would say Bellingham. I think and again, like the most scary thing about the whole Bellingham thing is that if Calvin Phillips was fit, Bellingham would have been on the bench.
Do you think Tchouaméni?
Tchouaméni was really good.
You think, right? Again, with France getting questions a lot about that midfield. Who's going to step in to replace Kante and Pogba? You've got the likes of Camavinga, possibly, Fofana, possibly. And instead, they pick a young Tchouaméni who comes in. How old is Tchouaméni?
Tchouaméni, is he 20?
I think, I don't think he's 22.
No, I think he's 20. I mean, again, playing consistently for like France and initially getting like to a World Cup final. Yeah, you know what? That's a good shout. Maybe I've got my kind of biased hat on as well. Because literally I haven't seen, literally again, I've not seen a lot of Tchouaméni, but
he's 22, so it doesn't count.
Okay, 22. Okay, so yeah, so Jude Bellingham then. Definitely.
And the last topic that we're going to discuss today, which Tabrice, I've just added this in because you know why I'm going to do it. Veteran player of the tournament.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, you know what? I've actually got one.
Messi.
No. I'm gonna go with Pepe, the Portuguese centre back.
You know what? He surprised me. He did surprise me. He did very, very well.
At the age of 40, playing in the World Cup, and it's not just playing in the World Cup. He was very, very comfortable as well. It just shows now how players are now looking after themselves.
Yeah.
And you'll be seeing players who are 40 plus playing. Again, nutrition is getting better. Technology is like becoming better now, and literally players love the game so much that they are prepared to sacrifice, again, nights out. And literally, I know this, this might sound so trivial, but a nights out or a pizza, and every little decision that you make is a consequence, either positive or negative. And now you actually see it with the likes of Messi and even Cristiano. Cristiano's 37 and like he's got a body like anyone would actually want to die for. And again, Messi has just proved that it's not all about pace; it's literally all about wisdom and like football IQ. Again, we are looking at Thiago Silva, like 38, Brazilian captain, and he's a Rolls Royce of a defender. And it's Pep. There's so many players.
What are we speaking about, right? For veteran player, how are we feeling about Otamendi? I believe he's in his early mid 30s.
Otamendi's 30, must be 34, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking mid 30s.
Otamendi is what you'd call just a typical defender. He has good games, he has bad games. I thought he played okay. Yes, he got caught out for the goal, but it could happen to anyone. But again, now we are like looking at players who are like in the 30s, and literally we're not looking at literally the like perception that we have of them is that they've still got another 8-9 years at the top, or at least playing football. There's even people suggesting that Messi, even in his 40s, could actually play for Argentina again, because in terms of how he played, like he didn't run anywhere. He didn't need to, but again, he has the luxury of doing that because he's got credit in the bank, and Argentina allow him to do that. If it was certain teams in the Premiership and possibly other elite teams, they wouldn't allow Messi to have that type of freedom, even though everyone knows exactly what he can do. So if you play in a certain position and if you know your body and if you have the right people around you and the right management as well that actually trust everything that you do, then you can easily play until your late 30s, like we're seeing now with Ronaldo. And again, Pepe is now, 40. That's a big age. Sorry, that's a big age to be playing elite football in a World Cup. And I can, literally, I would say in the next 10 years, you'll be looking at players 40 plus playing. And again, that's a big testament to those individuals that literally take the sport seriously, and also the people in the kind of back end that literally provide all of the necessary, again, technology, dietary requirements, and literally allow these players to be still playing at the optimum level in their advanced years.
Yeah. I'm really surprised when we're talking about veteran players, you didn't mention Henderson. He was quite vital for England.
I mean, literally, when I'm like thinking about veterans, I'm looking at 35 plus.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So Henderson is 33, I think.
Yeah, he's early 30s.
Yeah, early 30s, which like 33 is still young. I mean, again, I'm so like vets for me is 35 plus.
I'm thinking who else?
Who else is
Di Maria? I think he's
Di Maria is like 35, must be 34, 35.
I tell you what, in the final, he was incredible as well. I can't believe they subbed him off.
I mean, he was literally putting that right back on toast. Giroud, like you've said before.
Yeah.
Again, you are kind of just looking at, I think Thomas Muller is probably around that 34 level. Like, he didn't really perform particularly well, but again, he's literally got himself into contention. So again,
Lewandowski's
Lewandowski as well is like 34, 35. So again, hats off to like any like player in their advanced years, in the 30 like 35 plus. And again, this hopefully should inspire players who are coming up to 30, 32, thinking that they can't kick on again. Messi has just proven in his, at 35 is probably his, like his greatest season or greatest couple of seasons in his late 30s. I just hope that we can see a lot more older players showing the younger players, look, yes, like you may have the legs on me, but wisdom and football IQ counts for a lot.
Yeah. I think especially with them later years when you lose the pace and that, we can see it from, we've seen it from like the likes of John Terry. You've seen it from the likes of Thiago Silva, that pace isn't everything. And when you get older, you get wiser. And when you get wiser, positionally, you're a lot better. You don't have to dive into tackles. You can be smart about things. So, yeah, I definitely think footballing IQ outweighs pace, especially when it gets to the older times. That is all our points for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I just want to quickly say that I was a bit emotional watching that World Cup ceremony at the end.
Were you?
We have been blessed to see Messi and Ronaldo. We have been blessed for me especially a bit younger, to witness pure excellence in Messi and Ronaldo. The fact that I think they go yin and yang. Do you know what I mean? I think Messi still naturally would have been at a top level. But without Messi, I don't think Ronaldo would have pushed as hard as what he was trying to chase, and vice versa. But to see them two battle it for 2 decades, is it now? Where they have just been unstoppable, unbelievable, unpenetrable. They have just been incredible. And seeing Messi lift that World Cup, I don't know about you, how you felt about it, Priest, but I got a bit emotional thinking, this is the last time we're ever going to see this. The last time ever that's going to happen.
I think what this shows or proves that is that football is very fickle. Like we all have our kind of biases and opinions about football in general. And when you see players like Messi and Ronaldo, like you've said, I mean, again, like we've been born into an era where not a lot of people will even remember. Literally, when we're talking about this with kids and grandkids, and how like people talk about Pele and Maradona, this is how people are going to talk about Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And again, it's an absolute privilege. It's kind of something that, yeah, like even like myself, I kind of took them for like granted. Didn't really watch a lot of Messi, to be absolutely honest with you, because I was a Ronaldo fan until recently.
Yeah, good.
And you know what I mean? And like it's not until now where I've actually taken note in terms of what Messi's done. And again, just in this World Cup, just watching how he plays, it's inspiring to me as a kind of vets player as well, in terms of how you can still play football and still enjoy and literally certain things that I can also learn. And I just hope that the next generation of like players will at least try and compete. Not saying that they're gonna beat, but again, try and kind of compete to the awesomeness that Messi and Ronaldo have like set. And yeah, like we've got Mbappe waiting in the wings, possibly Haaland, and I'm sure that there's going to be some girl or boy in the that's probably 10 right now that that's literally going to take the world by storm. But yeah, I think lifting that World Cup, I was like, you know what, I'm actually glad that he won it. Again, he can now hopefully sleep easy, and really enjoy whatever he like has to do. Hopefully, personally, I hope he retires, but who knows?
I don't think he'll retire club level. I think honestly, I think he might go back to Barcelona. I know it sounds mental, but to finish his career where it started off, I think would be a nice way. I think you'd go back to Barcelona on a free, maybe when his contract is up, or maybe Barcelona are willing to spend money that they don't have. But yeah, I wanted to get that in there because I felt it was important, especially you touched upon with the grandkids and the kids. Like, they're not going to be able, like my little brother, he's 9 years old, right? I made him watch that game. And after that World Cup final, I said to him, "You're welcome, because you will never see this in your life again. Never, ever will you see Messi in an Argentina shirt again. Never, ever will you see Messi lift a World Cup again." And I know that in the future, he's going to grow up and think, he's going to go to his mates and go, "I watched Messi lift a World Cup." And they're going to go, "Who's Messi?" Or, "What do you mean he won a World Cup?" And yes, it's important for me, especially with them sorts of players, because everyone growing up, we've all got players like you, Desai, me, Thiago Silva, all them. We still knew that Messi and Ronaldo were there, and we still knew that they were the GOATs, absolute GOATs.
Yeah, actually, before we end, we've not even spoken about Cristiano. What's your thoughts about his legacy and his World Cup?
I think overall, you saw it coming. I know a lot of people wanted that dream Ronaldo v Messi final, and all them sorts of bits, but honestly, I don't think Portugal have got a good enough squad to reach the latter rounds when it comes to the Frances, the Argentina, even Croatia or Morocco. Do you know what I mean? I just wholeheartedly think that I don't think Portugal have the assets to be able to carry them into the latter rounds. But Ronaldo as a career, I think he's had a great career. I think he really needs that move away from United. He has not conducted himself. He's always been that professional player. You've heard the likes of Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, all these legends of the game speaking about how his professionalism, he's the first one in, the last one out, training hard every day, to now coming out and basically saying that I'm treated like a mug and I want to leave this club. So he could have handled situations better, definitely, but I hope it doesn't tarnish his legacy, because, again, him and Messi, like, overall, for me personally, it doesn't tarnish the legacy. I don't know about you, Tabrice. How do you feel with the legacy of Ronaldo?
Yeah, I mean, I think it tarnishes it. I think there's like a lot of things, and again, he like has every right to speak to whoever he like, has to. But when he's talking about the facilities at Farringdon, at United, I'm thinking, so before you signed Ronaldo, you being Ronaldo, so you didn't have a look around the facilities, you just signed blankly because Sir Alex said that you should. That that just doesn't make sense to me. So literally, for him to like disrespect the facilities, the people behind as well, that really leaves like a sour taste in my mouth. I think your like body language and literally what you do off the pitch also speaks louder sometimes than what you do on. And of course, how he kind of walked off when Ten Hag said said that he should come on for the last 2 or 3 minutes. I know a few kids that literally idolize Ronaldo, and again, I'm not saying that he's born to be a role model, but he's got to conduct himself in a way like that's his workplace. So literally, again, there's kind of a disciplinary issue there. Again, losing against Morocco, I mean, again, everyone can handle loss differently. But again, I just felt it was just all about him, how he didn't shake no one's hand. And he was just like, I'm going to take the limelight away from Morocco. And the camera's going to follow me from one side of the pitch all the way to the changing room. And, again, like it was an iconic piece of footage. Again, like, honestly, that was amazing because, again, that is going to live in memory, that piece of footage is going to live in, in everyone's memory.
Yeah.
But boy, I mean, shake someone's hand or something, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, and again, I think Portugal without Ronaldo played a lot better. And,
100%.
literally, that's the biggest thing.
I think one thing that did get my back up a little bit, I saw a lot of people, the game against Switzerland when they won 6-2 or 6-1, I believe. A lot of people were blaming Ronaldo, saying that, because Ronaldo weren't playing, they played better. But a lot of people seem to forget the tactics got changed that game. With Ronaldo on the pitch, he didn't have a lot of service going forward than what they did without Ronaldo. You had the likes of Bernardo Silva. They played, so they had like 3 or 4 attacking playmakers going forward, and then William Carvalho sitting a bit deeper in the defensive role. So yes, I understand your point of they play better without Ronaldo, but I also think that in fairness, they played a different style without Ronaldo also. So it's all which way you want to see it.
But again, Ronaldo was 37, so there's got to be a time where you have to move on and literally make that transition. And I believe that the manager or the coach at Portugal has literally got Ronaldo's back. So, like, for him to sub Ronaldo, that was a big statement. So again, it's a changing of guard. Again, I don't know who's really gonna. I don't know who's really now gonna run with the baton. If it's Gomez, if it's Felix, I don't know, because again, it's a new territory now for like everyone at Portugal. Yeah. But yeah, again, it just leaves a very bitter taste in my mouth. And
which is fair enough.
Yeah. And I had something else to say, and I've totally forgot. But it couldn't have been that important. No, it was, and I can't remember. It was about Ronaldo, but what was it now? I can't. I can't remember. Remember.
All right, no worries. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Got a bit deep and emotional towards the end, but I felt that it was the right thing to do, especially with Messi and Ronaldo having their last World Cups. But overall, let us know in the comments what you thought of the tournaments, any of the players, maybe team of the tournaments. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Tabrice, thank you for coming on.
No
It's been a
problem.
pleasure.
So are we okay? So are we? Are we back on Monday because Christmas is on Sunday? So are we? Do we have a show on the 26th Monday?
I will have to double check with the rest of the group, see what everyone's saying. But Monday should be looking good.
Thank you for having me, Billy.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Cheers for tuning in, guys. Take care and see you later.